Hello and welcome to Dave Hill's podcasting incident with me, Dave Hill, the pride of Cleveland and beyond. They're not exactly opposed to me in parts of Alston, for example. And anyway, as long as I'm on the topic, and I'm being serious now, this is completely mind-blowing, but according to Libsyn, the podcast hosting service I use, this podcast, which is to say, Dave Hill's podcasting incident, if you haven't shut it off by now, is seemingly quite popular in Ireland, of all places. In fact, if I'm reading the stats properly, nearly twice as many people are listening in Ireland than are listening in the entire United States. Could this be possible? There's only one way to find out. If you're in Ireland and you listen to this podcast, please, I want to hear from you. Drop me a line at dave@davehillonline.com. That's dave@davehillonline.com. And tell me all about yourself, because I feel like I must be reading the stats wrong. And also, by the way, it's not like there's 70 billion people listening to this pod. There's not even that many. Anyway, you see my point. But, yeah, it's crazy. The most listeners are in Ireland, according to the thing. Anyway, I'm not going to tell that story on the moth or anything. Anyway, but yeah, if you're in Ireland, you're listening, write to me and let me know I'm not going crazy. Moving on, my partner in podcasting crimes, Chris Gersbeck, and I very quietly launched our Patreon for this show last week. I announced it on the show, and we've gently tweeted about it here and there. It's at patreon.com. That's patreon.com/Dave Hill. Patreon.com/Dave Hill. Lucy's wants to play ball right now, so I'm podcasting and I'm doing that, multitasking, dog parent. Anyway, Chris and I strongly encourage / beg you to support our Patreon so we can keep doing this podcast and make it better and better and better for everyone, and we'll have podcasting good times. And we want to start thanking some of you fine folks who've already pledged. They've starting to come in slowly, and we're going to thank originally I said that we'd only thank people from the $5 tier on up on the air, but you know what? I'm in charge here. We're going to thank everybody. Actually, everyone did pledge at that level at least, so whatever. So I want to start, though, with Amy Dahl in Iowa. She pledged at a level that gains her entry. And let me back it up. You can get so many things. You can get patches, T-shirts. You can get an erotic short story written about you that I'll read on the air. You can you can be a member of the Dangerous Snakes Who Hate Bullshit, my street gang, who's not exactly crazy about bullshit. And I'll give you your gang member name on the show. So these are and there's even a top tier where I will fly to your house anywhere in the world and sing to you. And I'll even add to that, I'll do a full stand-up show and sing a bunch of songs to you. Would anybody be deranged enough to pledge at that level? I'm curious to find out. Anyway, let's start thanking people. I want to, backing it up, to Amy Dahl, who I said before, welcome to the Dangerous Snakes Who Hate Bullshit, Amy. Your gang member name is Reasonably Mean Streets Amy, the Iowa Assassin. You also have qualified for an erotic short story. Here goes. It was a dark and stormy night, and the power went out at the grocery store as Amy was making her way down the meat aisle in search of the perfect sausage. She thought she found the perfect one when suddenly she heard a strange man's voice say, "Excuse me, but that's not sausage." I'm sorry, that one was kind of gross. But, you asked for it. Moving on, I want to thank Brendan O'Dwyer. His Dangerous Snakes Who Hate Bullshit gang member name is Irritable Brendan, the Human Hammer, who will hurt your feelings without even thinking about it. He also qualifies for an erotic short story. Let's see how this one goes. Is this train running express? Brendan asked the sexy lady conductor. No, but this is, she said, while pointing at her butt. Lucy didn't like that one too much. Sorry, Luce. By the way, we should get some sexy music behind those, Chris, if you're listening. Speaking of Chris, I believe this is one of his relatives, Carmela Gersbeck, who is now officially a dangerous Snakes Who Hate Bullshit member. Her gang name is Carmela the Claw, who will key your car for no good reason. I also want to thank Jamie Matzo. Jamie, you are in the gang. You are here. Lucy, you're in the gang too. Calm down. Jamie, your gang member name is the Long Island Priestess, who will set your lawn on fire just to break up the day a little. That's horrible. She also qualifies for an erotic short story that weirdly takes place in a grocery store too. It goes like this. Want me to show you how to pick the best? Lucy, you're interrupting. Want me to show you how to pick the best grapefruit? The produce guy asked Jamie. Sure, she said. Then they made like 78 babies right there on aisle 7. It was nuts. I also want to thank Kim Schultz. Your dangerous Snakes Who Hate Bullshit gang member name is the Charlotte Charlatan. And by charlatan, I mean she will pretend she isn't going to stab you, but then she'll totally stab you. That's pretty intense. I also want to thank Corey Santian. Corey, your gang member name is the Buffalo Queen, who will give you the finger at stoplights when you didn't even do anything. I'd also like to thank Patrick Clifford. Your dangerous Snakes Who Hate Bullshit member is the Cliffhanger. And by cliffhanger, I mean he will leave you hanging off a cliff until you're dead or seriously annoyed, whichever comes first. I'd also like to thank Tim Cronin. Your dangerous Snakes Who Hate Bullshit name, Tim, your gang member name, if you're ready for it, is the Red Bank Rowdy, who has zero qualms about taking your parking space even after you already called dibs on it. Yeah, it's pretty serious. Anyway, if you'd like to be a part of the dangerous Snakes Who Hate Bullshit, or even just like to be thanked on the air, or you want a t-shirt or a patch, or want me to come to your home, and there's other stuff too. I will call people and sing Billy Joel songs. But just go to patreon.com/Dave Hill, and you can support this podcast and other podcasting magic we're plotting and planning for the near future. That's right, we have other podcasts in mind, as if this weren't enough. Go to patreon.com/Dave Hill. Now, let's get into this week's the meat and potatoes, or whatever. The interview conversation part wherein I have a person of interest over to my home for coffee and good times with me and Lucy. My guest this week is the awesome Shonali Bhowmik. Shonali is a musician, she's an activist, she's a comedian, she does all sorts of amazing things, and we talk about all sorts of awesome stuff. She's got a great band, Tigers and Monkeys, that I command you to go see and buy their records. They have a brand new album out that's awesome called Saturday Destroyer. Shonali and I talk about all sorts of stuff. We talk about rocking out. We get into crazy times that we're all living in these United States right now. We get into the creative life and all sorts of stuff. Before we start getting into all that, I want to play you one of the awesome songs by her band, Tigers and Monkeys. This is from their brand new album, Saturday Destroyer. This is In an Instant.
Gather round, the kids back in town.
awesome. That was In an Instant by Tigers and Monkeys. Go get their new album, Saturday Destroyer. And here is the lead singer and so much more. I'm so thrilled to have her on the show, Shonali Bhowmik. Thanks for coming over, Shonali.
Hi, Dave. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you, as is Lucy and Chris, and hopefully we'll get a calm Lucy today. Though
Lucy
so
is
far
a
not
beautiful dog.
So not good. Wait, we were just talking. So
we were
talking about the end of the world.
Yes.
For a second.
Yeah, I feel like Dave. Lucy. Okay.
Lucy is
cool.
She's getting really aggressive.
I like it. I think she wants to be on mic.
If you're not a dog lover, this is not the podcast for you. If you don't like an invasive dog.
I like this dog. It helps, like we said. So the world's coming to an end.
Yes.
It's, daily life, like starting your day, every day, with the knowledge that it could be over.
Yeah.
I mean, it slowly is. So you and I get along because we can laugh amidst
the darkness.
Totally. And we have to. But
yeah.
I am someone that always thinks about how can we encourage each other through these times. And I've figured out one way in the past 3 weeks, watching amazing new rock and roll documentaries.
Yes.
That's been helping me.
I think you're right.
Have you seen the Twisted Sister?
No, I heard that was really good though.
It is inspiring. Who knew the Twisted Sister could be inspiring? I had no idea.
Well, their
story, I did not know.
It's amazing. Their story. I was vaguely aware of their story, and then my friend Dave Windorf from Monster Magnet. I'm wearing a Monster Magnet.
I saw that.
The listener, he knew
the
aware
story
of them back in the day because he was around.
They started in the
when
70s.
That was going on. Yeah.
Early 70s.
And they were playing for 2,000 people or something crazy.
Every night in Long Island
Yeah.
at 10 different clubs. Every night.
Yeah, but then they couldn't break through.
No, for 10 years. You guys still have to watch this documentary. But speaking of not reaching for the stars, they were reaching for the stars the entire time.
Yeah.
And they didn't get a record deal after selling out every night for years on end. Even in New York City, they could not get a record deal.
It's so frustrating. I mean, it worked out.
It worked out.
Wait, I'm going to put this ball away.
Okay.
Chris hates me and everyone listening. This happens every episode.
This is
sort of dog thing.
But this dog is pretty chill. It's just a little urgency to the need to play. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
As we all do.
I watched that documentary.
Where did you watch it?
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's
out.
Watch
it tonight.
You guys, everybody has to watch that. And then I watched the Quincy Jones one that just came out.
I need to watch that.
For you, a person also plays music, you need to watch it. It makes you feel better. Even though we're watching two incredibly successful, brilliant artists that do make it to the top at some point.
Yeah.
There's still things that don't go so well for all of them. And you can empathize, commiserate, and you get that we just have to be ourselves and do our things. It's that's it. That's all we can do.
Plus, do you ever, and this is cynical, but I've also had the realization that I'm you know what? What the fuck else am I gonna do anyway? Even if I was
yes.
I quit.
Yeah.
Yes. I the way I figured I'm in my 40s.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you get?
Just might as well ride out the back end.
Yeah.
Doing all this shit because I don't. What else is gonna
Yeah. Well, if you started opening a new chain of bakeries or something, what would you do?
Yeah.
Although that sort of sounds cool.
Well, I saw something. Where did I see? Somewhere on, I don't know where I saw it, but it was someone it was, I think an ad for people that make the sign for stuff, like
Yeah.
signs.
Yeah.
And it was a sign for like some artisanal food truck.
Yeah.
And then I was like, that would be kind of cool to just sell some shit out of a truck. And then, but then I was like, fuck that. I'd have to deal with motherfuckers. Like, I'm like, I don't want to do that either.
It's true.
Like people coming up and asking for shit. Fuck that.
You're really doing what you need to be doing. I'm telling. I mean,
Yeah,
if
there's
you
no
think
other-
about it to no end, like even like in terms of Hollywood or like the heights of whatever idea of it is to be a success as an entertainer, most of it sounds terrible to me. Like the height of it sucks. So many of my friends that may be almost close to that are
Yeah.
miserable because they're not making the art that they want.
Yeah, I mean,
They're just making money, which is obviously not a priority for artists. You know, that's
plus, like, I mean, I feel like my concern is like if I made what I make now to keep me accustomed to this glorious lifestyle.
Yeah.
If I had that assurance, I'd
Yeah.
be like, oh, everything's fine. I don't give a fuck about anything. But it's just that thinking, like, you go like, maybe the jig is up and maybe,
but it's always that way.
yeah.
It's always that.
Like, I don't have enough to retire
When's
today.
most of us don't. This is the thing. When's the last time you had a day job? You haven't had one in a long time,
I
right?
haven't. The last one I had in 2006,
Okay.
I bartended one night a week
Okay.
at my cousin's bar, and I was the worst bartender ever. Like, I couldn't
You couldn't keep the
couldn't
orders
make-
together? Or?
if the ingredients weren't in the name of the drink, it wasn't happening. Like, maybe it was really slow. I'd be like, "You want a gimlet? Okay, I'll find out what that is." But usually it's just like gin and tonic, got it. Vodka tonic, got it. But if someone was like, and this would happen because it was a bar.
A Negroni?
That actually, because I like Negronis, I know how
Yeah.
to make them now.
Ah.
So I know that's literally, I know how to make a Negroni, and what I recently learned about, and do you like Negronis?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I've
You got a recipe for me?
well, if you like a Negroni, but you don't want to, because Negronis, I find like you won and you're like, oh great, bring it on, get me
Yeah.
another one. And then you're already in the trouble zone. And then if you have three, it's like, well, you have to start
Yeah.
canceling
Yeah.
things.
Oh,
Like,
so true.
but it's at the time, if you're a fan, and
Yeah.
it's kind of drink you're either in or you're out, I think. But
Well-
then I read about somewhere, and it's supposedly before the Negroni, there was a drink called the Americano,
Oh.
which is Negroni minus the gin, and then you put club soda instead of the gin.
Ooh,
So you lose the ass-kicking ingredient, basically.
I need that.
But you don't.
But it still tastes.
It tastes really good, and
Good.
you're not wasted.
Look at this. See, you were talking about how little skill you had, and now you're teaching me how to
Now
make
I
an
know.
amazing
Well,
Negroni.
I've learned a little. I mean, that's pretty much all I know. But but what I guess in Italy or something, there was a guy counting Negroni, and he he said he wanted an Americano with a bit more kick.
And that's how.
And they put the gin in
oh my gosh,
instead.
I'm so
and
excited.
Here we are.
I'm so excited.
But then a lot of times now I'll order an Americano, and if you're not at like an Italian restaurant or someplace that
they wouldn't
goes
know.
deep with it, they'll think you're asking for a coffee beverage.
Oh, right.
Like a espresso
American.
and hot water.
That's what I was. That's
and
why.
then you have to mock them for not knowing.
Well, where I was going with that question was in terms of your life, what you're doing now, and how why should it change? Like what else are you gonna do? I have been an artist who has gone back to a day job, especially since I moved to New York. Like when I went to law school and then I just played rock and roll,
Yeah.
and that was what I did exclusively for years. I look at tour dates now and I'm like, I can't believe I was just on the road every day for years. 200 days out of a year. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
more often than not. And then to come here and then have I guess, the luxury, if I want to call it, to make good money as a contract attorney and then do my art. And right now I'm on the off the law, off the habit. And then now I'm just being an artist and enjoying my life. I enjoyed it then, but I was just going to say, when you're in it, you realize that everyone, as an artist, we're like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? Where are we going? Are we going to retire? How are we going to do? Everyone is going through that. It does not matter what field you are in. Yeah. Everyone is going, am I going to have my job tomorrow? Unless they're like the upper 1%. They're thinking that. So why not enjoy what you're doing? Because you're going to be in the same place. I tell you. It's like every field. The bartender world is the same. You know what I mean? Everyone's there going like, what am I going to do? So I'm just giving you support, moral support, to say you're doing the right thing. You got to be yourself. I'm doing the right thing. Yeah. That's just who we are. We can't help it. That's it.
Do you ever think, though, because I have this thought about, I love New York. Like,
me too.
I know some people I never get burned out. I think because I travel enough that I'm gone enough that
you always appreciate
I'm always
it.
like, oh, I'm back. Yeah. And then I walk around and I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
And
I'm blown away by the city, same way.
I was like, I probably taught, even though we've only taped a couple episodes of this, I probably told this story already, but I was in Winnipeg. Have you been to Winnipeg?
No.
Manitoba?
No.
I wouldn't rush there. But
it's a place I should hit some point.
It's kind of like the Cleveland of Canada. So I found it resonated with me.
Yeah.
But I was like, a friend of mine was going to come on the trip, because I've been taking these trips to Canada for this new book I'm writing, and I just go to a city and hang out for 2 or 3 days. And usually someone will go with me, and I was in Winnipeg, and I was talking to a friend who was going to come, and I was like, I'm not going to lie, it's kind of rough here. Like, I'm just drinking a lot, honestly, because I don't know what else to do. And he's like, well, you have to remember, like, you live in New York. Like, there's only a handful of cities that are going to be exciting to you.
It's so true.
In the world.
In the world. That's true.
Everywhere else is going to be kind of like, maybe great, but in a very different way. But not, there's very few places where you're going to be like, whoa.
Exactly.
There's like, whatever the places are on the bottom of like the fashion bag, Paris, Tokyo, London, whatever.
And this is the first city. When I say first city,
I don't know what a fashion bag is, but you know what I mean. Like when you see a department store,
those totes with the Paris and Tokyo.
Yeah, the cool
London,
where the cool clothes are.
Yes, or supposedly cool clothes. But this is definitely, and the only other cities I've lived in before this. I grew up in Nashville, lived in Atlanta. I love those cities. I've traveled lots. Every time I get on the plane to come back, it goes through my head, oh my gosh, I live in a city that's more exciting than where I've ever been.
Yeah.
I'm going back to a place. Used to be like, you go back, like, India, Madrid. I love Madrid. And I come back, and I love Atlanta. I love Nashville, but you knew it's not the same as Madrid. But you go back to New York, and you're like, ah.
Yeah.
I live in a more exciting place, and yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, sorry to those of you that don't live here. It's
Fuck
just
everybody. But
it's just a thing.
But do you ever think because I go back to Ohio a lot, and it's so much cheaper there. Mm-hmm. And I think,
oh yeah,
I bet I would probably work a third as much.
Yep.
Maybe, I don't know how I decided on that number, but
yeah,
I would only need a third as much.
Yes.
And I was like, and then I could just hang out with my dog. So much more.
I said this out loud 2 days ago. I think the reason I feel okay about expressing this out loud, because in my head, it's like, don't come up with envisioning this life that you're not going to lead, Yeah. And I try to project into the future what I definitely am going to do. So, but I did out loud. I think the reason I do this because Jasper, my now husband, will not leave New York. He's just like, I can't.
Where's he from originally?
He's from Forest Grove, Oregon, which is a small town outside of Portland. He cannot stand it. He cannot. He came from a town, like if he had a mohawk, they called him a fag. You know, that kind of
Yeah.
old school. Like he always says, you think you're from the country, you're from Nashville, it's a big city. I am from like the redneck, you know.
Yeah.
To him, it's just like, and the moss and anyway, it's the worst. So he's just said, I'm stuck here. And so I come up with these scenarios like, what if we got like a barn where you could do big art. He's a painter, and I could have a studio, and we wouldn't have to work much, and we could. And he just looks at me and goes, "No," and then I just say, I couldn't. We could do that. We could already do that.
That's true. Yeah, I
I'm
always
like,
think
what would we do? I love seeing art here. I love seeing music. I actually do those things. I go out and I love all of it. Seeing scientists. I got to meet the Afghan robotics girls team the other night.
What is that?
Oh my gosh, these girls were not. This time last year, they were to be here for a robotics contest.
And they got screwed over.
Yeah, they couldn't come in
I
because
heard
of the
about
immigration laws, and they couldn't come here to participate. And finally, like all this lobbying for them to come in to participate, and they won. They won a European contest. They're heroes to the world because here's women, little girls from Afghanistan that are seriously brilliant and being allowed to participate.
Yeah.
So they're heroes. But where else? I'm not gonna. I mean, maybe if I was in D.C., but in New York, can meet them and feel inspired and feel like we have lots of work to do and feel shitty about myself too. But no, just joking. I was so inspired. They were so cool. Yeah, that was a moment, and that was only this past week.
That's cool. That's powerful. I think that's stuff that's I can help carry us through
these moments.
Like even just today.
Yeah.
Not to get in. We can. Trump. I just hate even uttering his name.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing where he explained the killer of Khashoggi. Yeah,
Jamal Khashoggi
said, it may have been rogue killers. Like there was just weird guys wandering through the embassy that killed him that no one knew about.
And that little the lecture he gave us about, well, do we know if he's a citizen? He doesn't know anything about the story, and then he was sort of acting as if his life meant less in that moment. A journalist that works for the Washington Post, he looks to his aides like, do we even know if he's a citizen here yet? And anyway, it's just like, how does that? It makes me so. Oh yeah, we could go on and on.
Well, but it goes back to where Forest Grove.
Yeah, Forest Grove, Oregon.
I feel like, and this is like the kids or the people that Jasper grew up with, and this is I say this all the time. I probably also said this on this podcast already. Yeah. But I feel like the whole world is now like growing up in Cleveland or anywhere.
Yeah.
You go to your friend's house.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, let's go to my friend Billy's house. And you're like, who's Billy? He doesn't go to our school. And he's like, he's my friend. And you go to his house, and like his parents let him play with a BB gun. And like he's got swastikas all over his notebook.
Jasper's is literally an arsenal of weapons across the street. His friend, Aaron, who he enjoyed spending time with growing up, his dad, really extremist right-wing conservative, had an arsenal of weapons all over and just guns laying all around the house.
Uh-huh.
And they could shoot at street lights, but crazy arsenal of weapons, not just a handgun. It was crazy. Yeah, it is exactly how he grew up.
But it's like those kids, like, I feel like the world has become 5th grade, where you're just like, you think like, oh, well, people change and grow out of this, and then you go like, oh no, they don't.
They don't.
Like, what was the thing from a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
Like Kavanaugh. I can't remember the guy. Who's the guy from Jawbox? Who went to school with?
Did they go to school together?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
The guy.
The singer of
and I apologize.
Jawbox?
I can't. No, I don't think so. I can't, and I feel like an idiot that I'm not thinking of his name right now.
I didn't know that, but.
Bill Barbeau.
Okay. What
He,
happened?
I haven't had enough coffee, Bill. If you're listening, no, I'm sure he's not. But he, made a statement saying, like, hey, I went to Georgetown Prep. Like, all of us know this world Kavanaugh's describing, that was not
what
it
was.
was. Like, it was way more fucked.
Right.
Then he's saying, like, he asked his, his classmates to be like,
Yeah.
back me up on this.
Yeah, and they did.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what.
But it's like, you go all these years later, it's like, of course, the guy, the reasonable guy is the guy, from Jawbox. And then
Yes.
you have the fucking dickhead Kavanaugh, lifelong dickhead.
Right.
Clearly.
Yeah.
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 Like, I went to school with these guys, too,
Do you think, because in retrospect, when I think of 2 Obama wins, right? And I worked hard on that. I mean, I'm certain you did. We all, like, I canvassed.
You really
I went to
did.
Cleveland.
You went to Ohio.
I went to New Hampshire.
I
went to
probably tweeted
Pennsylvania.
a few times.
I went to South Carolina. I went to 5 states.
You were. I remember.
I was going nuts. It was like, we have to do this.
Yeah.
And I thought Bush was incentive. Like, where are we now? So anyway, but to do that twice. So I can't help but think that the fear factor of an African-American president, like you're right, it goes back to 5th grade, but it just comes down to identity politics. Like, that's it. It doesn't matter. They'll say they're pro-life, but they don't. That's not really what it's about.
No.
You hear that, that's it. I'm like, what?
It's about, like, white picket fences, like, sustaining this fucking
But most of them
bullshit
don't
world.
have those white picket
Yeah, but it's
fences.
the idea. I can't remember who said this.
I just try to.
But there's someone saying the problem with America is that everyone thinks that they're meant to become wealthy.
Oh yeah.
Whereas, like, in other countries, you're like, no, that's not what's gonna happen. Like,
Yeah.
either you're born, so, like, every motherfucker, and of course, everyone should have the right to become anything. But, like, people that aren't this or that are like, I'm entitled to this, and the reason I don't have it is because of that guy over there.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so question for you, because I looked this up. I tried to figure out the numbers behind this myth. So the mythology that the welfare queen is taking all of our money away from, and I've literally had the Facebook commentary from someone, who played rock and roll in a band with my friends, that we were friends in college. You would assume that would grow up to have a similar mindset, who has maintained to me that they are taking his money from his family, his working class family. And it's so shocking to me because there's no part of my brain that is equated that that's the reason why anyone else is poor. Like, and so I've gone back and I figured out the Koch brothers are actually one of the starters of this whole propaganda message. But I looked at the numbers, and it's like twice as much, if not quadruple the amount of money is spent on corporate welfare and corporate benefits and corporate entitlements. Like, all our money, all our tax money, all of the advantages the corporations get are because of us.
Yeah.
There are so few people getting any of our money that are on welfare. Like, there's nothing that's factual about that idea.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
How did that
bonkers.
work? How could people not be upset with rich people?
Because they've been brainwashed with the other idea, which is
people have less than them are the reason that we got to figure that out. We're gonna get a neuroscientist involved somehow. There is a neuroscientist named Robert Sapolsky. Do you know him?
I don't.
We together must talk to him. He's so amazing. He's from New York. He's from Brooklyn. He teaches at UC Berkeley, but he studied primates and stress. And now he can literally explain to you exactly why we're where we are today. It's amazing. We got front row seats to see him here because Jasper's in love. Loves him. But anyway, there is a reason, and I just had to throw it out there because Dave, I think he can figure it out for us. Why? Why do they think this, and why do they let it dictate how they vote? I do not understand.
Yeah, I don't.
Isn't
I
it
don't
easier
get
to hate Donald Trump than like a poor person?
Yeah,
Like,
I guess it's because like
why?
I don't know. I can't wrap my fucking head around it. For the life of me.
Oh my God. So anyway, I was going to just tell you, when I wake up, Dave, this is what happens. I wake up, I say, you can do this. I tell myself, you can do this. Like literally to get out of bed, you can do this. I now started my like 10-minute, 10% happier meditation app. I sit, I breathe. Wow. I try to not think. It's a phone app. I've never done it. I just started this year. Uh-huh. But usually, I've done this since I was a kid. I go through what's wrong with the world. I've done it since I was a kid. I was like, please let there be no more war. Let these people that are sick be. I do have empathy.
Yeah.
And so now, like the list goes, and then it's just like it keeps going. So this is what I'm only saying this because I know most of your listeners are going through this, and we can all relate. Or going through a tough time. But I go through, okay, so now I'd be like, okay, the world hates women. We just had the Kavanaugh hearing. That was just appalling and really offensive for all women, at least thinking women.
Yeah.
That was really a point where I just thought, like, what are we going to do? Well, can we burn shit? What do we do? What can we do?
I'm all for burning shit.
like, what can we do?
I am like, you will not find anyone more up for burning shit than I am.
Okay, so we could do that. You and I, we could
not
start.
Not my shit.
We got this.
Other shit.
Other people, other shit, something. And then I went through, okay, the detention centers, the tent cities right now for the kids. There's more kids in those centers right now than there's ever been before. They won't let reporters interview these children. Where are we? Like, where are we? So I go through that. Then I go through the Khashoggi. So I go through this, like, traumatic, like, I do the meditation, and then I go through this traumatic chain of events that have just happened in our country. And we do this daily. And then I go, okay, I got to calm down. I got to be the best person I can be. And I got to connect with someone else that's feeling the same way. And we got to figure out something we can do to make things a little better. Yeah. And that's what you and I are doing today.
Yes. This is absolutely right.
We're telling you we're here for you and with you.
We are.
We're going to vote. That's what we're going to do.
I mean, and also, like...
that's what we're all doing. I know that.
This is not... I haven't fully worked out this analogy, but, like, I think everything that's going on is it's like this shit has always been there. To me, it's like if you had a septic tank in your backyard or whatever the shit tank is called.
yeah.
Conflicting reports on what
Oh, really?
Called.
Okay.
Well, someone else said, I think it's septic tank.
I think it's septic tank.
But and you're like, oh well, I think there's a leak in the septic tank. We gotta figure that one out. And then you're like, and then you realize like, oh, actually, it's been going into the whole. Our entire property is there's gallons of shit everywhere, and it's way worse than we thought.
Yeah.
And then you're like, so the shit has always been there, and now you're like, oh my god, the shit is everywhere. It got out. And then you're like, well, I think we have to move. And then you go like, well, no, it's gonna suck, but we just gotta get this shit cleaned up. And we probably need to get a new septic tank. But like once we do that, things are gonna be cool. And then we have to put a new deck in also because the other one's rotted with shit and piss. But like eventually you do that, and
I like
then you
this.
have a nice barbecue or something, and everything will be fine. And eventually, the new septic tank is going to go bad, but hopefully we'll be dead by then, and we won't have to worry about it personally. The next owner will have to worry about it.
Oh, that's the one that I've gone through that one quite a bit. Like with
And then but then I can't even get into the thing about how the world is going to burst into flames in 12 years or whatever.
Yes, we can.
But then on the flip side of that going back to like art and things, it makes me like, fuck, like I just need to go harder and do what I want.
Yes.
And I should probably buy that guitar I'm thinking about getting.
Yeah.
Because why the fuck not?
Yes.
We're all
I
gonna
totally
die.
agree. I'm gonna another, I guess, the new me. I guess it's always been me, but something like you and I have been talking about, just an attitude of just doing what we feel like we want to do and not caring.
Yeah.
In other words, like waiting on the record deal or waiting on the TV deal or the movie deal and the whatever in the art world is considered success. Instead, just creating art, just doing it and doing it and doing what you want. A part of that for me is being more vocal, and you'll appreciate this, but I've been embraced a lot by the alternative comedy world, music world. I mean, that's my scene. For the most part, it's led by white men, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking that at the benefit show we did the other night.
Oh, the one that only had white men on
white
stage?
dudes on the stage a lot
That was
throughout
like,
the night.
truly kind of amazing. And not,
It's just,
I hate to
but just to not
criticize
understand
a
the
positive event.
Yeah, it was
truly a parade of white dudes.
and that's just I would say, because there were women up there and there were some amazing African American men and women, one each, maybe that's it, or two each. But in general, that's the indie scene. Like that's a scene, you know. And in terms of our peers too, like just for people to get out of their own world in our liberal progressive world and acknowledge the fact that they themselves haven't been inclusive, instead of us lecturing everyone. I'm going to give you are actually one of the few awesome indie white straight men in comedy and music that I would just see even in conversation, that there's a difference and there's a distinction of how you treat me than a lot of even people I love. You know what I mean?
I treat you better or worse?
Better.
Imagine if
You
you
have
turned
real
at the end and be like, you
It's huge. It's
you
so,
need to get some shit together, Dave.
but it's so
Well,
huge.
thank you. That's nice to hear.
It's just like the shit tank. It's the opposite of that. Is like whatever is good in the shit tank that comes out. It makes our experience. I'm gonna say I'm a person of color. I'm Indian. I'm a woman. I grew up in Nashville, Tennessee. My parents are Indian, but that goes a long way. That has everything to do with who we believe we are and how we should be treated for the rest of our lives. Like just acknowledging us, and like the reason this Me Too movement and is going way beyond sexual assault. It's about us saying like we need to be heard and seen.
Yeah.
It goes a long way. So I'm just going to say that I thank you for having me here, because
well, thank you.
that's a part of the equation that I think needs to be changed and seen and heard and felt. And you know, every time I go in the subway and I do see like all white people on billboards, I'm like, you're in New York. You're advertising like all your white shit to all of us, and there's like every other ethnicity staring at that sign. There'll be shows where you just see like 7 white people, and then you know that they're progressive liberal white people. They feel like they're representing the world. Sure, I don't know. It's just like totally recycled history. Keeps going, and they are the ones that saying they're fighting the fight, but they don't even see it. They're a part of it.
Yeah. I mean,
it's exhausting.
This is what I don't understand, and I'll probably, in saying this, then also kind of reveal myself to be part of the problem at the same time.
Yeah.
But I don't understand. Well, there's a few things. First of all, I don't understand why. To me, like, ever since I was a little kid, like the last thing I want is another fucking white dude around. Like, I've always been like, where's the shit that's different from me and my whole thing? Like, bring it on. I've always thought that way.
Yep.
And And then also and then this is a total another thing.
Yeah.
Is these these alt-right idiots and stuff like these the Charlottesville guys like worried about. I don't understand the idea of feeling threatened of being like, I'm gonna be Dave Hill until the end, which is hopefully coming soon. Let's be honest. But I'm not. I don't feel like I like what. What are you afraid of losing? Like no one's. I'm not gonna like wake up and be brown or whatever. If I gave a fuck. About being a white guy. I'm not. I'm just gonna be me.
Right.
Like there's no threat. I don't.
Right.
I can't wrap my head around that idea. That like
there's
what is there to protect? I don't know.
And
I truly don't know.
Some belief that they are better. That's the part which is like, truthfully, it's like we are better. We deserve more. So like, being equal is not in the picture. There's just something about losing that privilege, which is well deserved. Like we deserve this. That's what I see. That's what I see. I see it from, like I said, liberals. You know what I mean? I can see it from the white talk show hosts who I know they mean well, but you can feel the nervousness even because it's like they probably all don't think they deserve to be there, you know? And it's like, well, yeah, why do you think that? Well, there is a problem. Like you're like scared of losing something because you probably don't think you're good enough, but at the same time you're like, I deserve it. I worked hard to get here, you know? Versus just accepting everybody as your peers and just being like, yeah, we're all on equal footing. I had an NBC executive one time tell me, I was like, I have nothing to lose. I'm going to say what I'm thinking. And I was like, and this was when Seth Meyers got his late night show. So like we're on like the 7th show of late night with a white middle-aged man, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, it's so offensive. It's offensive, really. It's offensive that there's not one slot for anyone else, you know? And at that point, I was like, okay, so we're on it. And everyone kept, because Stephen Colbert got his show. All these people are funny and smart. Yes, I'm not saying they're not. But I said something to the exec, and I was like, yeah, thanks, thanks for giving us another white late night straight man host for television, And he laughed, and he goes, well, she's a bitch. And I was like, she's a so so for him that meant there was only one woman that was able to fit in that slot because one person can compete in that. And to me, I took it as Chelsea Handler. Like I think that's who he was thinking at the time back then. I didn't say anything because I was in such shock because I was ready to go hard, and I was like, it's not. It's a friend of somebody else, whatever. But that sums it all up. It's just like the one competitor is valued to take your spot, and they hate you. Like there's no aspect, there's no perspective. They can't see outside of themselves, and this goes into our people. So anyway, I do want to point that out. I want it to be known that you've always been like,
I'm the best.
Yeah. we have conversations like there's a thing like in scenarios like I won't back down. I will have real conversations, but you can see even the conversations where the people that think they're nerds are broing down. Like they can't hear or see the women in the room, and they're broing down, and they're talking about hating Trump or hating Bush at the time or whatever, and they still can't see the women in the room as peers or equals. You'll see it all the time, and I'm just like, oh my God, are you hearing this? These people aren't listening to. These women have said things and are not even listening. So you'll see it more often. You're
aware.
You're gonna see it more often.
That's interesting because it's like, it's different.
You'll see it.
It's stuff that I'm, as a superior guy.
It's a big deal.
I'm blind to, but now that you're saying it, like it makes me go like, oh, this is subconsciously probably part of the reason I too do not want to walk into a room of certain people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm not.
Yeah, because you probably don't feel like you fit in. I mean, in a way, you know what I mean?
I mean, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Or part of it or whatever. But I
Yeah.
think, like, no matter what the scenario is, there's a part of me that does not. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think I feel comfortable in this apartment.
Yeah.
A couple bars in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Oh my God. And this goes back to Twisted Sister, which is why I'm like, I was never a fan of the music, but I love these guys in
Yeah.
this band. And it's because they also have chips on their shoulder about not being considered cool. Like, they brought down the house in front of so many crowds with thousands of people supporting them. They had crazy rabid fans. And they're still not considered cool. Atlantic's like, no way, this is a joke band, and because of it, Dee Snider, he was like, I hated small clubs because I was like, screw them, because he knew people worked at the small clubs, the Mud Club where the Ramones were playing or whatever.
Yeah.
He wasn't included. He always didn't feel included, and I was just like, there's a fire that creates when you feel not included. And so for women, that's what's happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, all right, we have not been included. We're still not being included. We have nothing to lose. So let's bring it on.
Yeah, totally.
Come back, MC.
Now I apologize. Like, now that we're talking about it, I'm like thinking about bands now.
Yeah.
I'm just, rather than listening to what you're saying.
No, I
I'm
love
just
it.
going down the list of bands in my head.
Yeah.
But it made me think of, like, a similar thing as, well, not to the bigger picture of what we're talking about, just strictly musically.
It's helpful.
I think because I'm getting older, I have kind of, I don't really look at a lot of things that I would not want to let people know about on the internet. Like, I'm looking at less naked ladies in my old age, and I kind of just watch, like, Guitar Gear videos. That's in, like, old concerts and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, there's this guy. Do you know Joe Bonamassa? Have you heard of him?
No.
He's like, well, you probably
Is
have.
he a guitar player?
He's a guitar player, but he's like plays like blues. Like, he's a white guy who wears sunglasses on stage.
Okay.
And a friend of mine is his guitar tech, and I went to see him. You know, 'cause my friend was there. He's like, "Oh, coming down." It's like the whole audience is like pretty much like white couples in their like 40s and 50s, and like every dude has like a bomber jacket on. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like they saw Steely Dan a couple weeks ago. And so I was like, oh, this isn't my thing. I get that it's awesome. And then I started watching videos of him, and I was like, oh, I probably won't listen to his music, but I like him so much. Because he seems like fully in tune with, like, he's just like, yeah, I know. He's like, I know, I'm just like this. I'm a nerd who I solo too much over blues progressions.
Yes.
Like, I know no one thinks that's cool, but like, this is what I do.
Yes.
And like, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like,
that's what I'm speaking to.
Fuck.
Yes.
Like, he doesn't give a fuck that, like, cool guys aren't gonna be down with it.
You're gonna feel it.
So-called, you know.
Dee Snider, Danny, and JJ French, guitar player. They're cool.
Oh yeah.
They're hilarious.
Eddie's a guitar. Eddie Ojeda is.
Yeah, Ojeda. He's
I
cool.
remember.
He's super cool. I love that I'm speaking on behalf of Twisted Sister right now.
I love it too.
Yeah.
You know, it's also a good. Even though I'm totally not speaking to like what.
Yeah.
Where you got what your point was.
Now
I'm just being like, you know, another cool band is no. But if you watched, did you see the Rush documentary?
Yes.
From like 7 or 8 years ago.
Yes.
I'm not anti-Rush.
No, I went to see Rush when I was a kid. Yes.
I wish I had seen them.
I did.
But it's never been my thing. But I watched it, and I was like, oh, I love this. I love these guys.
Such great guys, friends since they were kids. Like that. Again, that's also something for me that means a lot to me. When you can have a friendship with someone that you knew as a child. I have the same. My childhood friend was the first person I ever started playing music with, and then was in a band with for a long time.
And that was
Ultra Baby Fat.
Ultra Baby Fat. And I think I've told you this before, but I saw you guys play with David Cross on that tour you played in
was that
Cleveland at the Agora.
Yeah.
In like maybe almost 20 years ago.
Yeah, it was 2002.
So right before I moved to New York.
Yeah.
So what, 16 years ago?
Yeah.
Um,
It was so awesome.
yeah. So
I can't believe
we
that.
go back further
We
than
do.
you realize. I remember seeing you guys.
And you have like such a cool music scene. I met the Greenhorns, became good friends of mine.
Yeah, the Cincinnati guys.
Yeah, so they came from Cincinnati. And then I met from the Afghan Wigs.
Greg Dooley?
Was Greg there? I think
He would have been.
Is there a guy named Kevin? I think it's another
Probably.
member. I love that. But I just remember having a great time in Cleveland. I
That's
played there
Cincinnati.
other times. I mean, those are Cincinnati
Which
guys.
is a fine city.
It is a great city.
Couldn't be
it's
more
Sudsy
different.
Malone's in Cincinnati.
That's Cincinnati.
Yeah, that was great. That's
But
great.
Ohio has very, like, I don't know if this happens in other states, but Ohio has, like, there's no kinship between the cities.
Oh.
Like, there's no.
Because Athens and Atlanta have that same. They don't have the kinship. It's like
Oh, yeah.
your own play. You know,
Yeah,
the scene is completely
Ohio's
different.
Totally like that. Like,
Yeah.
you can have friends in those other cities, but
But-
like, if someone's like, I've been to Ohio, I went to Columbus,
You're like,
you just
that's
no,
a
you-
nut-
doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah,
That's 2.5 hours away.
That's true. That's true. And Tennessee for me would be like Memphis, Nashville, Knoxville, Chattanooga. 4 different scenes.
And
they're
are
band-
they are they friendly with each other?
I would say it's weird. I think Atlanta and Knoxville would have a better relationship. Like different states in terms of scenes
Yeah.
have closer relationships than with it. Yeah, they're more competitive, like rival bands. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
Yeah. So weird.
I was very.
Well, I was gonna note. This is like something about music that I do think, and this is as a comedy nerd too. Just us knowing so many people in comedy, I think that through music, I met more men that perceived women as peers than in comedy. Isn't that
I would
strange?
say that's true.
I always-
and not to throw
No, but
comedians under the bus by
but
any
they're not
stretch.
as.
Though I don't know. It's hard to.
I was.
I don't know.
I mean, I was embraced, obviously, by males in the comedy world, and I still am. But I'm just saying, in terms of like collaborating and creating art and like pushing me and helping me, it just like even the conversations, I realize now with perspective as we grow up that I think that the musicians in my world were more able to just see me as an equal.
That's probably true. I'm trying to think.
I didn't see them bro down as hard. Like they really.
Yeah, there's
hung
probably
out.
more, but I'm.
I think people would not know that.
Not to point out how cool I am again.
Because you're in both worlds. That's what I'm like. Yeah.
But I think I'm super anti-bro.
Yes,
Also,
you
so
are.
like I don't even
You don't see it.
like I avoid bro situations.
You do.
Myself.
I've
Like I don't even like
That's true.
if I see a table of guys that I'm all friends
Yeah.
with, I probably won't walk. I'll say I don't want to sit down at that table because I'm like I don't
It is true.
want to be with a bunch of dudes.
You are absolutely right. I've seen you do that. You don't do. This is what we're talking about.
I just don't like.
This is not me kissing Dave's ass. I'm very serious about this.
What if
This
you
is-
do another podcast and you just be like, that motherfucker?
I just think it's very meaningful for all of us to be critical of ourselves and figure out how we fit in to the problems instead of talking about everyone else being a problem. And I think I've helped some of my male friends see some of their sexist behavior like in themselves
Yeah.
and understand now why it, like try to fix that, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of so anyway, that's why I'm talking about it with you. You don't have to fix anything, but I'm
I'm
hopefully
perfect.
yeah, exactly. I'm just hoping that maybe others
No,
can
I think I
look to their
I
own
have
behavior and
problems
see.
that I'm
Yeah.
working through. Like
What
we're
did
going-
you what do you hate about yourself?
well, we don't have that much time. But no, many things,
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
But I think actually, and this is something because I had a mother, obviously.
Yeah.
As all humans do.
Yeah.
And three sisters.
Yeah.
So I think,
Oh, yeah.
in many ways, it's adjusted me better towards interacting with everybody.
Yes.
But it's also, I think, a negative thing that I've done to myself
Yeah.
is I sort of realized that if a man gives me any shit about something, or if there's any confrontation,
Yeah.
my instinct is to be like, fuck you, no.
Really?
Like,
Yeah.
or no,
Oh, you mean?
I'll admit when I'm wrong.
Yeah, but in general.
I kind of go like, wait, let's see if you're right. You might not be right, and here's why you're wrong.
Yeah.
And, whereas I think with women, for a long time, and I think I recognized this a few years ago because I kept doing it. My instinct, and I think it's because of
Who you grew up
growing
with.
up with a lot of women, I just immediately like, oh my god, I fucked up. No matter what the thing is.
Could you understand how monumental that is? Because what you do is the exact opposite of what most men do.
But it hasn't always worked out for me because usually I did fuck up. Usually that's the correct instinct.
Right.
Is I completely fucked up. But there have been times when I just I'll be like, oh my god, I fucked up. I'm such a piece. And then I pile on like,
More
Irish Catholic guilt on top.
yeah.
I'll be like, I fucked up and it's actually much worse than you think. And then I make the situation so much worse than it needed to be because I'm like,
it's not a big deal.
you're right, and it's so much worse because like think about why I would have fucked up. It must mean that I'm such a bigger piece of shit than either of us even thought. And so I've definitely done that a few times, and I've sort of recognized it. Where I try to think.
Yeah, what's wrong? There's something about
kicking the shit out of myself.
Americans, like, we're scared to not be right. Something about that, like it's a bigger deal than it should be to be imperfect. Like, I messed up, and then just move on. Like, fix it.
Well, that's
just
what
move on.
I think.
Yeah, you did.
I think about this with politics, like, because I think like maybe I should run for something.
Yeah.
And my platform will totally be if someone asks me something I don't know the answer to. I would just be like, you know what? I do not know a lot about that. I know a lot of really smart people. I'm gonna get smart people to explain it to me. I don't fucking know.
Do you know Tyson Mead? He was the lead singer of the Chainsaw Kittens, and now he's put on. He's amazing.
I interviewed him once.
You did?
Years ago.
He's from Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
And he ran for a representative just this past year, which I've known him for a long time, and he just like, I'm just doing it, which is very much what he did. And it was so beautiful to see him just say, I'm going to run, and he's gay. Like, it was just, and he's to me, he's gorgeous, an amazing man.
I remember him, yeah.
He just did it this past year. He decided to run.
And did he win?
He did not. I don't know the percentages. I mean, he had like really no money behind his campaign, but I think it's the beginning of the future where he's like,
him. Yeah, he had a band before that called Defenestration.
Oh wow!
And they were on Mammoth. Chainsaw Kittens was on Mammoth Records, I remember, and I interviewed him, and he had a fur coat on.
Yes.
In like
he's
in like not a fur coat day.
Fabulous.
And
he's a fabulous
I remember
human.
it was the first time I'd seen a guy wear like a fur coat in July or whatever it was. Yes. And I was like, wow.
Just for everyone who's listening, Tyson Mead he's putting out a new record, but he put out one after 10 years of not. He went to China and taught English, came back to the U.S. like 3 years ago, and his record is amazing. So if you look for his music, it's just brilliant.
That's so cool that you mentioned him because that otherwise would have been lodged really far back in my brain.
I love that you how you described him. He's an amazing human.
Yeah.
But in the same way, I wonder, does everyone imagine running for office? Maybe not. I thought I was going to be the mayor of Nashville, like at a young age.
Oh, I never did, but this is, I think,
I wish I had
people
run.
should
I
envision
never
running because I think part of the reason we have such horrible politicians is because most people don't want to do it, and that's how you end up with shitty, like how, and I know it's obviously I'm gonna shit on Ted Cruz, but even if I were a staunch Republican, I feel like I would recognize like that guy is not a fucking leader,
right?
Like even if I were the most conservative, like the exact opposite, I feel like, come on, like you look at that, you look at him, you look at a Marco Rubio, and you go like, oh, it's because not enough people wanted the job, and that's how you wind up
with that.
And I've heard Ted Cruz, and I have no doubt, obviously Ted Cruz is like probably a really smart guy, but like charisma free. You've just seen of no.
I mean, the college roommate
charmless
is gonna know exactly.
Oh yeah, the guy Mason, I forget his name, the screenwriter.
Yes,
who's fucking hilarious.
Who tweets about him?
Name. Yeah.
For those of you that have never known that, Ted Cruz's college roommate tweets about being his roommate, and he cannot stand him. Yeah. It's the funniest. I mean, it's also sad, but
it's the guy he wrote. He wrote The Hangover. Craig Mazin.
Craig Mazin. Follow him. So funny. But you know what I'm also going to say is that there's so many brilliant people that are running for office that I admire, and that I feel like more of us should be inspired to learn about and get on board and encourage other people to support. There are some fantastic people running for office. So I'm now on board for this campaign in Texas.
Oh, the Beto O'Rourke?
Well, the senator, but there's a...
Am I pronouncing his name right?
I phone banked, and the guy instructing how to phone bank for him, it's Beto.
It's Beto?
Yeah.
Oh, because I
he says Beto. He says Beto.
He himself.
No, the guy who's teaching us how to phone bank for...
He says
Beto. Yeah.
That's what I thought was the proper...
Beto. Yeah. Yeah. But there's a representative in Texas named, a candidate running in Texas named Sri Kulkarni, who is running in the most diverse... Sri
so
Preston
Texas,
Kulkarni. And Texas has a district that is the most diverse district in the country outside of Queens.
Oh, wow.
Who's never had... It's Tom DeLay's seat. Never had minority representation. It is the most diverse. So he's engaged... Like, it went from 8% minority vote to now it's 28. He's registered 70,000 voters.
Wow.
It's like increasing. So now it's actually not a safe seat anymore. Nice. So anyway, Texans listen. I know you have a lot of Texans that listen.
Huge. Yeah. That's my sweet spot.
Hi, y'all. Ohio and Tennessee are the South, so.
Yeah.
We have,
It really is. Once you get to Akron, you're in the South, I think.
Do you have any things that you have lined up to help towards the midterms?
Not enough.
I'm going to tell you what to do.
I did, well, I take it back. I was supposed to host a benefit, but then the organizer was drunk.
I was a part of that night.
I feel like I don't want to
these houses.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't want to say what. No, because it was a great event. But
it was amazing.
Finally, they got Mike. He was like, "Yeah, get up there, do one." And then I got up there, and Michael Shannon was just like, "I'm ready." And Mike's like, "Get off, get off."
That was amazing.
And I was like, "You just dragged me out here. I was fine over there, not on stage." And I feel like you just dragged me out here to tell me to get off stage.
Oh my gosh, that was so...
But there was a lot of moving parts.
There were a lot of moving parts.
It was okay.
It was okay, just because you have a great disposition was able to do it. There are a lot of people...
Is the word you're
a lot of people would not have been able to deal with it, but it was a fantastic event.
It was.
It was. I always wonder how these events help us towards winning midterms. I think there was money raised. Mm-hmm. It was nice for us to all be together.
Yeah.
But you just want to make sure it's not self-congratulatory fun, right?
That's what
you want to be inclusive of the world.
That's my big... Well, I think as we've seen, I think like,
Yeah.
and this is very cynical, but I do think like what I've learned in these last 2 years, I'm like, oh, everyone, I feel like it's just everyone was just patting each other on the back, and
Yeah.
like it's still the 50s pretty much.
Exactly. I mean, and in terms of that's the conversation we just had, just about
Mhm.
sexism in the
Yeah.
world, like really understanding how deep-seated the hatred for women is in the world. Like that confirmation hearing is evidence. And I feel like us just talking about it right now, it does help. There's just
Yeah.
like, oh, maybe I should be aware of this. And and we should all figure out what we can do instead of just patting ourselves on the back.
Yeah, and
You know?
and it's coming fast and hard.
Yes.
The thing is, my problem is, I think there was a time a couple years ago
Yeah.
when I did have fans or
Yeah.
people who were, follow my work or whatever.
Yeah.
Who were. I feel like I've alienated anyone who's on the fence has been so put off by me
Oh,
that I don't have. I think there's no one left to convert because everyone else is like.
well, your
told me to fuck off by now.
but your conviction also is a relief to a lot of people that feel like you. Like it's helpful. You're like helping other people have less stress because they know someone is as upset and freaked out. It's very helpful. So
I think the key thing to remember is like I'm not particularly knowledgeable. For me, all my politics come from a place of like thinking the exact fucking thing I thought when I was like 6 years old. Like I've learned a few things, but truly, I'm just like, be nice, be nice to everyone, and don't fuck anyone over.
well, that's it. I
And,
mean, those
like-
are basics, right? Just like treat other people with respect. Be aware of their existence and like allow people to do their thing. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
And that's pretty good politics.
That's
the
been
other
my
part.
politics and religion since like age 6
Well,
or 7.
And it's good to be passionate about those things because, as we can tell right now, if you're not, there are people that are not going to enjoy those freedoms. Like,
Yeah, but it's interesting because I feel like I learned that, as my dad and I, who have never had an argument about politics until,
yeah,
the last couple of years.
Yeah.
'Cause he's a Republican, not a Trump voter or supporter.
right.
But I remember like kind of getting worked up on the phone with
Yeah.
him, and I'm like, Dad, you have to understand, like all my anger is coming from just how you raised me to think like what's right in the world.
Yeah, right.
Like this is just basic shit. Like
Yeah.
I didn't like George Bush, but like
I mean,
it didn't fucking ruin my day every day. I
Yeah.
didn't wake up and be like, oh, what the fuck is going on today?
Right.
Like there's no such thing as there's no a gaffe doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Because like today, Trump
there's
saying
no
the rogue killer, like that would have like ended someone's political
Career.
at some
Oh,
point.
God.
And now
I mean,
there'll be
everything-
something else today.
yeah, he just tops himself every day. And then just to ask our Republican friends, which I grew up in Tennessee, so there are some.
Yeah, and I have
but, like,
a couple that I remain in contact
How
with.
is this sustainable? Like, how is it sustainable to continue like we're going right now? It's not. I just don't understand, like, even the money, if they think they're going to have more money, how is it sustainable to take so much from people at the bottom and then give 1% of the top all the money in the world?
I don't think, well...
How do they think it's not being distributed fairly?
Yeah,
Not
I
even
don't know.
fairly. So anyway, just so that you guys can imagine a graph and sort of look at it and see where the money's going so you can understand how this works. And maybe then you can make your own decisions. But
Yeah, and in the meantime, no Republicans can eat tacos or anything like that, and you can't listen to the Beatles,
Yeah.
can't listen to the Stones, you can't listen
Yeah.
to any, you can't enjoy, you can listen to Toby Keith and Three Doors Down. That's
It's
it.
about it. Right. Didn't Rage Against the Machine tell Paul Ryan to stop
I would
Like,
hope so. Yeah.
He was saying that's what he listens to when he runs. He was like, I listen to Rage Against the Machine. How? How do you equate your life to, well,
Yeah.
those are the questions. We're going to change the
don't
world,
know.
Dave. That's what we're going to do. That's the message today. All of us think about how we can make ourselves better people to make the world a better place. That's it.
And I think we can do it. Like,
We can.
as much as I get so worked up on the internet and stuff,
We're
when I
doing
go back
it.
to Ohio and I sit and I'll be at a bar and there'll be like some Trump supporter and stuff, I'm like, oh, like, you're not like a fucking. Some of them are monsters, sure.
Yeah.
But like, they're just people, like,
Right.
who are
Oh,
somehow
Yeah.
not thinking. Oh, I don't think clearly. But
totally.
But
No.
and I'm sure they would say the same of me. But
Yeah, but that's the goal. Not to preach to the choir, but to like have conversations with people that disagree with you,
yeah,
as healthy as they can be.
yeah. There's an
That's-
amazing on YouTube. Do you know Turbo Negro?
Oh yeah.
Happy Tom
Yeah.
from Turbo Negro, the bass player,
Uh-huh.
has this show in Norway.
Oh.
And he's American. He actually moved to Norway when he was like 7, I think.
Uh-huh.
And he has this TV show in Norway, but one episode he has cousins, American cousins, and he
Uh-huh.
came and hung out with them, and like one is a Democrat and the other they're all Trump supporters.
Oh wow.
And it was truly the most powerful thing I've seen on
Wow.
the subject, and to where you're like, oh, I get, I completely disagree with these people. but,
Right.
like, you can empathize in a way. I don't think any television show has done it as well as that.
Wow,
I should find it.
I want to.
It's on YouTube.
It is.
Um,
Wow.
but
I think that's
I
brilliant.
should have that title locked and loaded. But
That
people
is
can
a goal.
search it out.
Yes, but we will find it. Can I? I just wanted to make sure. I brought
We
up
need to promote.
my new record.
I know. Well,
Yeah.
I was going to say we didn't. I was in there. I'm going to do a preamble.
Oh, okay.
And before we even, I'll ramble for like.
Oh,
10 minutes
you're the
before
best.
you even come on, and I'm going to
Yes.
tell everyone. Well, as we should, you have a new album.
New
Tigers
album.
and Monkeys.
Tigers and
Saturday
Monkeys.
Destroyer.
Saturday Destroyer.
Which is great.
Thank you.
I've been listening to it on Spotify,
Oh.
but now I can listen to it. I should have downloaded it like a
Oh.
true musical supporter.
Oh no,
But
that's all right.
now I have the CD and the vinyl. So
Yes.
But it also has a great album cover.
Oh, thank you. That's when I went to Peru.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It
And I
was-
feel like it captures the feel of the music, too.
Thank
which is
you.
what you want in an
That
album
is what you
cover.
want, and it's the first time I've had vinyl.
That's exciting.
So to have artwork on vinyl is so exciting.
yeah.
It's a piece of art that you can
Yeah.
hold instead of the little CD cover, which in fact I guess people don't have CD players anymore.
No, now it's like,
So it's just digital or vinyl.
yeah.
You know?
And yeah, I remember. I'm an old man, so I know of when you would put a record on, just sit with it
Yes.
in your lap and stare at it.
There's liner notes.
Yeah. In your.
Yeah,
oh,
and I put lyrics. Of
that's
a rock
excellent.
star friend of mine was like, put lyrics, just share
Who's
your
the
lyrics.
rock star friend? We have to
Is,
have a name dropping question.
We call him King Roser of Urge Overkill.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I know Nash Cato.
You know Nash, so
yeah, not to out.
no,
It's not a competition.
he's been a longtime supporter of me as a musician.
Oh, nice.
He is a man who treats me as a peer and an
He's
equal,
great.
and he's so cool about sharing what he likes. But he would say, "You have great titles, names of your songs. Tell them what the name of your song
Oh,
is."
like when you're on stage.
And I was like, "Oh my God!" We sort of grew up in an era where there was a shoegazing era. You just look down, you just play songs. But I never ever thought about announcing the name of a song. And he told me that after, and I was like, "That's a great idea. I'm going to do that. I'm going to tell everyone what the name of the song is."
Do you then work? Because I'm looking at the titles now. Like,
Yeah.
do you work the?
The name of the.
Like, do you do like a speech like?
Oh yeah, don't do
If
that.
you.
Incorporate it.
Yeah, where you go.
Yeah.
we're gonna play this next song in an instant. And then you play your song in an instant. Track number 5.
Yeah, you know what?
On Saturday to You can do that or not. That's
After
just my
watching Twisted
rock tip to
Sister,
you.
I feel like you and D, like that's a good idea. I noticed he did that.
He's with it. That's how I got. Well, we've been talking over an hour, so we should drive. This
We should.
Home, but that's how I got into comedy, because I started liking that part of the show more than
The playing part.
I like the playing,
You're amazing.
but I like to talk more, probably.
That's so good. That's so good. Well, that's what they exactly. We've talked so much about Twisted Sister, but now you'll see the comedy
That's what
infused banter is amazing.
I'm gonna watch this, and there's so much we didn't get. So
The album's out. We're gonna do some dates.
Yes.
We're going to we're gonna go to Savannah, Georgia, in October 25th. We're going to Charlotte, North Carolina. We're gonna go do some dates with Broncho in December.
Oh, nice.
Which is a band I love from Oklahoma.
Yeah, they're great.
We're going to Birmingham, Alabama, to Atlanta, Georgia, to Memphis. More in store. We're not doing a date here. We're gonna maybe play with you guys.
yeah,
We want to
we'll
do a
talk
date
about
with
this
Valley
off,
Lodge because they have a record.
We
out
do
too.
Friday.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think this will come out after it comes out, but it's out this Friday.
Cool.
But
Because that would be a good show.
well, let's do that in January.
Yes, I would love that.
And then maybe what we could do in the meantime is book the show.
Yes.
And then I can announce it on here when this comes out.
Yeah, let's do it.
But then you also have your live show / podcast.
Yes.
You don't even know.
We don't even know. It is the moment of every month outside of this moment right now where you get re-energized, reinvigorated to deal with what's going on in the world right now. We have guests from every field in the world, from politics, journalism, music, comedy, acting. Our personal trainers on there, our moms. We just want to fill it with just fantastic people that everyone should appreciate and hear, and we talk about whatever we want to. Sort of like this one. Yeah, except it's live at the Red Room every month on the last Tuesday of every month.
And then also you have your own label,
I
Little
do.
Lamb Recording. You just put a new album out this past Friday.
Yeah,
by
George Gordon.
Yes.
Yes.
And it hit number 1,
It
right?
did. We've had 4 comedy albums out.
That's amazing.
All number 1.
doing
Selena
it right.
Kopic, Katina Correo, Greg Johnson, and George Gordon.
Awesome.
It's cool because we put out indie rock, and then we were like, why not celebrate comedians that don't know about this world that you and I know in terms of indie distribution or just sharing your stuff with the world. So Little Lamb, thank you.
That's excellent.
I can't believe it. I almost sometimes forget what I do.
Well, you have a lot, and this is where my research kicks in, because everything else I mentioned I already had in my brain.
Yeah.
But you're in a feature film.
Oh yeah.
Next year.
Yes.
Isn't it romantic?
Yes. That. Oh my God, Dave. That was insane because you've been in films. It's like in my headspace. Barely. Well, this is my.
I get edited out of a lot.
Well,
of
that's what I was
films.
gonna say. My headspace was like, let's see if I get left in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But one of our friends saw a special screening and sent me a still, and you can see me, and it's me, Priyanka Chopra, and Adam Devine. So it's like I'm there. They didn't cut me out.
Nice.
I'm playing her maid of honor in this movie. It's a Rebel Wilson stars in. And I'll just say that all those humans were really kind and generous. And I'm not a hater of Hollywood. I love the good parts of it.
There's good people.
There are
in
good
Hollywood.
people, but I think I go in with
Just not enough.
Yeah, I go in with the expectation that I probably am not going to meet them, and when I do, I get really, really excited and appreciative of those moments. So everybody was super cool. It comes out in February.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, so there should be like. I mean, hopefully, I don't know. I did a scene. We'll see what happens. I'm in a few scenes, but I speak.
Exciting.
Yeah,
This is great.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I've just like been
that's across all media.
Yeah, just like you. You're my idol, Dave.
You're my idol.
Yes, it's true. I love it. We're doing whatever we want.
We are.
Who
Fuck the
cares?
world.
It's true.
And there you have it. There's my lovely conversation with Shonali Bhowmik. Please go get Tigers and Monkeys album, Saturday Destroyer, and every other record they've made. Stone Cold jams, wall to wall, all killer, no filler jams. Go see them live. They're great. I'm going to play another track by them before we get out of here. Thank you for listening. Please rate and review and subscribe to this podcast on iTunes or wherever you enjoy hot podcasting action. Go to our Facebook page and like it and join the discussion group there. And please, once again, if you can, go. Lucy just ran out of the room with a cardboard box. She's out of control. Anyway, please support our Patreon at patreon.com/Dave Hill. That's patreon.com/Dave Hill. And until next time, watch your backs, watch your rooftops, and moisturize as much as possible. Okay, that about covers it. I'm going to leave you with one more Stone Cold jam. This is Dinosaurs Surrender by Tigers and Monkeys from their awesome new album, Saturday Destroyer. I'm Dave Hill. I've had a lovely time, and I better go stop Lucy from... Can you hear her ripping up that box in the next room? She's a real piece of work. All right. See you next time.
This round is coming to an end. I'll pave the water while you drink your gasoline. A sip for the children, a sip to keep you clean. Slide down